Calling VO Atlanta. This is VO Istanbul. Can you hear me? Ah, hello VO Atlanta.
Welcome to VO Istanbul. We are here with our keynote speaker, Debbie Irvin.
Help! Hello? Hello?
Thanks, Debbie. We are having a great time here with Debbie in Istanbul, Turkey. Yeah, right?
Yes, Mehmet.
Thank
You and Andy have a wonderful event here.
Debbie seems to think that we've kidnapped her.
Actually, we have.
Help me, please!
Indeed. To have Debbie returned, we want you all to donate to the VO Peeps Scholarship Fund.
And Ganguzza is waiting to hear from you.
So,
Hi,
VO Peeps!
And please help! Quickly! Soon! Help!
The mountain top, walk on water, I got power, feel so royal. 1 second, I'ma strike for you. Diamond, platinum, no more for you. That adrenaline, never giving in. Giving up's not an option, gotta get it in. Witness, I got the heart of 20 men. No fear, go to sleep in the lion's den. That glow, that spark, that crown. You're looking at the king of the jungle now. Stronger than ever.
They're here. You can't run. You can't hide. They come from out of the West, determined to take over the world as we know it. They're the VO Peeps.
We're live.
Hello. Hello. Woo-hoo. Hey, thanks for the music, George. I'm Gerald Griffith. I'm the president and founder of VoiceOver City and host of VO Atlanta 2014. Wow. I am so excited to be opening up here with the National Meetup for the conference and sitting next to none other than Miss Ganguzza.
Thank you, Gerald.
Wow. How are you doing this evening, Ann?
I'm awesome. It is so incredible to be here. So exciting. What a great crowd.
I know. Are you all happy to be here?
It's a party.
Okay. Now, we are live streaming around the country, and actually I'm pretty sure, if I know right, Andy is probably watching over in Istanbul.
Probably. I think Andy and Mehmet and...
So can we give a little love for the people who are watching to let them
Peeps.
know how we represent here? All right.
Hi, Internet audience.
Hey.
Thanks so much for tuning in.
This is great. Well, I'm excited about it. I mean, this afternoon and this evening has been absolutely fabulous. And just to see so many faces coming together and having a great time and people eating and eating more. And
drinking more.
But that's what we do here. And everything tastes like chicken. So,
Except for the VOP.
It's great. But hey, before we get going, we've had a great time so far, and I'm very excited about everything that we have scheduled for the rest of the weekend. But one thing I do want to do before we really get too far into this is I want to take a moment to acknowledge someone who could not be here with us this evening, Miss Vanessa Hart. Vanessa Hart passed away back on February 11th, and she was scheduled to be one of our presenters covering the audiobook. Unfortunately, things took a turn for her, and she is no longer with us. But that day when I got that call about Anne, it just reminded me of the importance of getting together from time to time, sharing a meal with the people around us, and actually shaking someone's hand and looking them face to face. And if you were following during that time of people sharing things about Anne, the ones who had the most powerful stories also had a picture of having met her and known her personally. I never had the opportunity to meet Anne, but I did talk to her on the phone on a number of occasions and had negotiated contracts with her for her to be here this evening. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. But in her absence, I do want to take a moment and honor her, as well as the other people who are often heard but not seen in the voiceover industry. So if you would, just join me in a moment of silence. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Very nice. Thank you. So, Gerald, maybe you can tell us a little bit more about what's going to be happening this weekend. We have a great conference laid out for the next 2 days or so.
Well, I would let you off the hook so easy, but how about we start off talking about you?
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Well, you always host these meetups.
I do, yes.
And I said, well, you know what? How about we talk about Anne? Would you like to know more about Anne? See, we're going to put her on the spot. So how was your trip over here?
My trip was great. I got in about midnight last night, I would say. Of course, I'm on West Coast time, so I didn't get to bed until maybe 3.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I'm
that's not as dramatic as it sounds.
I may just fall asleep, I'm not sure. But no, you guys are exciting me, so I'm revved up.
Well, that's great. Well, it was great to actually finally get to meet you as well.
I know.
mean, we've talked a number of times, we've chatted, we've Facebooked,
For
we've
3
tweeted.
months at least, we've been working closely together.
And now we're sitting here.
And I think that's what's so wonderful about events like these is, and it's part of the premise of the VO Peeps and the Meetup group that I host, to really have that face-to-face networking time, which is so, so important. And I've worked with Gerald for the past 3 months pretty closely, I would say, and it's just such a joy and a pleasure to meet him finally face-to-face. I feel like I've known you for years.
Wow.
And
yeah, it's probably because we never have a 5-minute phone call.
I've never.
It's one of those moments, and I don't know if any of you have this, but certain people call, and I'm sure she probably goes through this more than I do. But you look at the phone and the caller ID, and you kind of go, should I answer that? Or should I not? Do I have something to do the rest of the day, or should I not?
Another couple hours, yeah.
So it's always a good thing, and we're both, we share some technology background and things like that, so we have plenty to talk about. And that's very exciting. So I'm happy to have you here. And happy to have the meetup here. We've got some great people coming up that you're going to be interviewing once I exit stage right or left or one of these directions.
Just as long as you don't knock that mic over. Yeah.
No.
We should be good.
No, I'm not going to do that. You're focusing?
Focusing.
Oh. The hand you saw was Andrew Bates.
It's not on that.
And it could be on this camera.
Yes.
So I'll just tell you a little brief history of the VO Peeps. The VO Peeps was formed in the pictures.
I'm always amazed at, and this is one of those things about Facebook, just kind of on a side note, right, is you do realize that Facebook is not a local thing, right? And I wonder that sometimes because I'll see people post certain things or say certain things. I'm like, you do realize you're talking to the world, right?
Yeah,
exactly. And so it's always funny when I meet people. Sometimes they'll say, "Oh my God, I saw those pictures of that food." And I'm thinking, really? you know.
And you actually had a video, I think, of your chicken cooking, or I forget what it was the other day.
Yes, that was.
And it was really good. And you're like, just so that you know, or like, just so you know it's real. And it was like 3 seconds or 5 seconds of the chicken, like.
Yeah, there was a certain
It was
party
beautiful.
that's no longer in the room. But, I had to set a few things straight. So, you know, no, I'll leave it at that. I had threatened to bring in some cooktops just to make the point, but I opted not to do that. But no, I think a lot of it for me, the whole people thing, because I'm often asked that. It's like, well, what drives you? You know, what is the whole thing for you? And I really think it comes back to the people. I'm the last of 11 kids, so I grew up around a lot of people.
Wow.
And, you know, my uncle was the pastor
Are
of
you
church,
the oldest,
and so I
the
was
middle
always
child?
there. I'm the youngest.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
oh, the baby.
Oh, no.
You're the baby.
No.
I'm the baby, too, of my
No,
family.
no, but
Not
here's-
11,
here's-
though.
Here's the thing, though. You don't have to get stuck in that whole baby thing, right? So,
Well, they always
everybody
call me
has
the
a thing
baby.
in their family, right? They defend their position. And so the oldest says, well, I was here first. And, you know, the middle comes up with some excuse about being the middle. But so myself, they get a little sensitive. But I always say, here's how I look at it. That works for me. There were 10 prototypes. And then they got it right.
There you go. I like that. Yeah, I like that.
That's how so if you're the youngest in your family, somebody had to be the practice.
That's right. Absolutely. It works. It always worked in my favor.
If you're the only child, I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, well, it always worked in my favor. But I was the only girl, so.
Oh,
Not only were there prototypes before me, but yet I still had the advantage that I was a girl, so I got to say, but those are boys, so it doesn't apply to me.
Hey,
So.
okay. But I think that was a whole part of, you know, coming into a big family and, you know, growing up around the church, which was like a bigger extended family, just really made me more of like a people person. And I often talk about communication skills a lot. And even as a kid at church, we did a lot of oratorical contests and things like that. And my sister was one of those sticklers who you could not use improper English around her. And, you know, but, you know, looking back on it, it was all good. You just kind of hate it when you're there, you know. But it comes back. And probably the only drawback is people, they never really knew, like, you don't sound a certain way. And so I never really got that. I'm still trying to sort through some of that. You know, I think it traumatized me.
Is this what led to VO Atlanta? You know, the bringing together of people, or see,
You know,
we're turning the tables
I
now.
think for
so
me,
let's
you
talk
know,
to Gerald.
someone
Gerald,
asked
tell
me
me
that.
about VoiceOver City and what you know.
Yeah, so, you know, I'm often asked
VO
that.
Atlanta.
I think the thing for me, like many people, you know, I wanted to explore voiceover, but I've often done public speaking. I did a short stint at radio and things like that. And so working from home, I get the kids off and different things like that. So I wanted to explore something that would allow me some flexibility. And I still to this moment don't remember exactly where voiceover came into that, but I was like, hey, you know, that kind of works. And having only been in Atlanta for a couple of years at the time, I really didn't have a social circle. So there was me, and I live way out in the sticks a little bit, so I didn't know many people in the city. And there were a couple of studios, but you know, I took some classes, but it still didn't seem like a sense of community. And I remember I said I grew up in a big family, big church, so that's kind of in my DNA, it's just connecting with people.
Yeah.
And
I totally get that.
I started off,
That's
and
VO
it was
Peeps
kind
is
of
my
like-
extended family.
Yeah.
It's very true, bringing people together.
so my initial thought was, maybe if I meet some people in the city, it'll make it easier, you know, to just kind of know what places are good to train, what places are bad to train, you know, what things to watch out for, what works for them, what doesn't. And so I set off with a modest goal of getting a network group of maybe 10 to 20 people together. That was the whole goal, 10 to 20 people. And I said, if I can do that, then I'll be good to go, right?
They always start off small, don't they?
Yeah, right? It was kind of
Then they
like,
grow.
what was that? Dragon Slayer, Giant Slayer, right? You know, it's like it always starts off small and gets you in trouble. So about 3 or 4 months in, the group had ballooned to about 50 people. And about 6 months in, it was around 200 people. And just 2 years later now.
Wow, only
we're at
2
about-
years old.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, you've grown tremendously, and
So,
that's amazing.
yeah, so,
And the conference,
yeah, the conference,
as
this is
well.
our second year.
yep, second year for the
And
conference.
yeah, it's
So
been incredible.
what drives you besides
What
besides
drives
insanity
me?
to host a conference?
Yeah, I'm glad you
as
acknowledge
large
the
as
need
this?
for insanity.
Yes.
Because you do have to, I mean, seriously, you have to have a certain amount of illogical rationale about you to do some of these things.
To do these events, yeah.
Because I remember when I talked about doing the conference, someone that I really respect in the community said to me, maybe you should attend several conferences first and give it 2 to 3 years before you try it. Because that way you'll get some ideas, you'll kind of have a better idea of how you want to do it. I said, well, I'm gonna give it a shot. And what I found was when I talked to the different presenters, because I had started doing Blog Talk Radio. And so I would call up maybe Gabby or somebody and say, hey, let's just do a live interview. And that would be our meetup sometimes. It's just that live interview. And so as I talked to them, once we'd finish the call or before we'd start, I'd have a little conversation and I'd say, hey, I'm thinking about maybe putting together a conference. You think that would be something that you'd be interested in supporting? And we're like, sure, absolutely. Let me know when. There was always this very positive feedback.
Yeah.
So even when the person said, well, why don't you wait 2 or 3 years? I just felt like, I had the support of people in the industry to do it. And
this is such a wonderful industry. I mean, I'm not the first person to say it. I think everybody here knows what a wonderful, supportive community this is. It's amazing. I mean, I myself, every time I host a meetup, I'm so touched by the community and how much people are willing to give, and with the scholarship fund and the people that come and donate their time and come do guest speaking, and so I can totally understand that.
Yeah, and it's been great. Last year, I remember getting off the elevator it was the Sunday, the end of the conference, and a gentleman was riding the elevator with me, and he said, I realized today that you had never planned a conference before. And, I said, this is true. I said, to be quite honest with you, I had never planned anything larger than probably a picnic before.
Well, you learn fast.
But I think it's one of those things. If you give up enough sleep,
There you go.
and
There you go.
but I think this goes to anything, and probably a little bit of some of the stuff Lauren touched on earlier is what my experience has been over the last 2 years in talking to people who come to explore voiceover, is that people are really looking for something, and it's not always voiceover. Voiceover happens to be the label
agree, yeah.
that they come with because they had a nice voice and something, but they're looking for something. They're looking to either validate the skills that someone may
Or
have said,
support.
you have a nice voice, or any number of reasons. And I try to get beyond the surface of that. So when they come in, it's not just, oh, well, take this class, or take that class, or throw them into something. It's more, what do you come with? What do you bring to the table that can be marketable? What do you come with that can be molded into something valuable? And in a lot of those cases, I'm just as likely to tell them that the course of action I would recommend for them is to have someone help them produce a book about their life. I talked to a pilot yesterday. He's been a pilot for over 20 years. He's traveled and trained all over the world. And I'm thinking, okay, how about we use your voice so that you can be an industry expert at what you do, and then you can be the person that they're bringing out to places all over the globe to talk about pilot issues and things you love. And he's like, you know what, I never thought about that. I said, use your voice to produce an audio book of that. Instead of just taking classes and hoping that someone hires you.
Absolutely.
Create and be the product that someone wants to pull out.
Sure.
And then you're able to push.
That's based on your passion.
Right. And there's skills that you already have. And so I'm like, stop reinventing yourself. And that's probably the one sad thing I see is sometimes there's a frustration with what you're currently doing. And voiceover seems to be the glittering, shining object that's going to get you out of that. So you're not actually attracted to voiceover. It's just that you're repelled by what you're currently doing.
Yeah.
Now I know there's nobody in here that falls into that boat, but
No.
but the dangerous part about that, and this is the real warning that goes with that, Ian, is oftentimes the skills abilities and talents that you use on that job that you hate are the things that you leave behind because you hate the job. And so you come to voiceover or any new career and you want to start over from scratch. Like why would you do that?
Right.
You know, if you worked in the hospital for 20 years, I'm going to steer you into at least starting in medical narration or something so that your expert knowledge of the medical industry is leverage.
Exactly.
You know, and then you see the light bulbs going on. Like,
And
oh,
that's
wow.
it, yep.
You know, I never thought about that. I never thought about that. And that to me is what really drives me, is when I can have those conversations with people and have them start what I call exploring your own toolbox. Because so many times we want to go get a new skill, but if we look in our own toolbox, there's all kinds of stuff still in the wrappings. We don't even use it. You know, it's just there. And so I'm like, what skills do you have that you're not using already before you go try to learn all these new ones?
Absolutely. And I think if you get to a point in your journey where you can look back and say, yeah, you know, when I was a little girl, I used to teach. So there's kind of like my group. And I love technology. So, you know, I used to like to play around with electronics and stuff like that. So I knew that from a very young age, and it's applied now. And if you just can look back and kind of just realize, yeah, these were my passions from, you know, a long time ago, and now I can apply them to voiceover or my niche in voiceover.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
And
that's
what
the
works.
exciting stuff. You know, so when we're having those conversations and I start hearing that phrase, I never thought about it like that, that's a winner, because they leave out of there not only inspired that there's a path for them, but they realize that there's a value in what they've already done, that they don't have to abandon all the
Exactly.
skills because
Yeah.
they hate the job. You know, just take those skills that earned that company money and leverage it to earn you money directly without all the middleman.
Exactly.
So-
Exactly. And
Would that be okay, right? You know,
that's
I mean,
awesome.
yeah.
That's the key. Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks so much, Gerald, for providing this event and this vehicle for us to learn and to network with each other. And I'm just so excited for the next 2 days, and I'm excited to talk to
Are you leaving early?
all these people.
Oh.
No, I'm not leaving early. Nope, I'm not going back till late.
No, but
So-
I really do appreciate and truthfully, that the biggest compliment is when a session ends and people are still standing around talking.
Exactly.
That's a compliment. You know, when we have an
When people don't
event
wanna
in
leave
our
the party.
office, it's the same
Yep.
way. And when I leave out 30 minutes after something's over and people are still standing in the parking lot talking and networking, those are what I call successes, because that means that someone's making a connection.
All of you here
Nas, who you
now.
heard singing earlier tonight, she's working on projects with another gentleman that comes to the office, Luke Truan. They're working on projects. They met at the office, and now they're networking, and they're taking on additional projects. And so those are the kind of things that I say, you know, when you get to know people and you interact with them and you share a meal with them, then you start to realize that, hey, I didn't realize you did that, or I didn't know you did that, or I didn't know you knew the people that do that. And then you start to make those connections, because one thing I can tell you for sure is if there are two people who on paper look equally qualified, the person who's met in person and is likable is going to get the job.
Agreed.
They're going to get it. And in some cases, the resume may not
Yeah.
even be equal, but because they're likable, because
Exactly.
they feel like they've met you in person, they will give you that edge.
They will hire you.
Yeah,
because
they'll
they
give you a
like
chance just because they feel like they met you and they can trust you a little more versus
Exactly.
just a random
Yeah.
person. So I'm really big on that. I'm really big on the interaction, and I think it's, you know, for me, it's been a blessing to just help facilitate that. And I think that's the exciting part, is bringing together the best resources in the industry. And sometimes people, you know, have tried to ding me on that. They'll say, oh, well, you don't spend a bunch of time in the booth and doing all this stuff. And what I had to come to terms with in the very beginning is that there is a role for everybody to play. And there is a role that works better for certain things. And so I didn't have to necessarily prove myself by saying,
Absolutely.
well, I audition for 500
Sure.
jobs a week or
Sure.
something like that. Because believe me, the people who've ever said that, 99% chance they would hate a day in my life. They would hate spending the amount of time on the phone that I have to spend on the phone. And
Absolutely.
so,
Absolutely.
you know, I just look and I'm like, you know what? You can look at it however you want, but I work with the best talent in the country. They're the best at what they do. And I feel honored and privileged that I can call them up, I can email them, and I don't have to worry, they don't have to worry about me hustling them for some angle on a job or something like that. I called them up and I said, hey, I'm doing an event. Would you be interested in coming to Atlanta and being a part of it?
And it's from the heart. It's from the heart. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And they're like, yes, sure,
and people
when?
respond to that. People respond, like in anything that you do, people respond to the passion.
Yeah.
You know?
And so, you know, I just look at it and I say, hey, we have a role to play.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
this happens to be my privilege to play this role. And I'm so thankful for the people. I'm thankful for people like Elaine Clark, that when I first started the group, and I started working with her book, that when I reached out to her, she was like, oh, sure, let me know what you need from me. And people like Joan Baker and different ones have just been very supportive. And this is all, you know, when you come to something like this is all the culmination of those relationships and those phone calls and those interactions and that networking to bring all that together. And honestly, the biggest honor beyond having this is when I get emails after something like this and people say,
Saying
you know
how
what,
much it meant.
I got a job as a result of somebody I met there, or I'm going to train with somebody that I met there, or you know, something has happened in my life as a result of having come there. That's the success. That's what matters. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much, Gerald. Awesome. Okay, well, I've got a lot of people that I'd love to talk to this evening, and I think my first one sitting out in the audience I'm seeing is Miss Katie Lee. Hi, Katie.
Thank you.
Katie Lee, welcome.
You want to know why I'm here?
Yes, I want to know
Okay.
why you're here. Let's talk. Why are you here, Katie?
I'm here because you're here.
Yay!
I was here back in October, I believe, and I did a workshop with Gerald for about a week. My specialty, my historical specialty is animation, voiceover and animation. I've been doing that for a long, long time. Over 30 years. I know I sound really young, but I don't look really young. So there you go. So somewhere in between. And as luck would have it, something fell through a couple of weeks ago, and I was looking at what Gerald had put together, and I said, this is an incredible event.
Yeah.
I have to go and support him and see what's going on out here. And
Atlanta.
so I bought a ticket and got here. And also because, what kind of just to piggyback, so we don't rehash stuff, what Gerald was saying about meeting people.
Yes, absolutely.
I just directed my first project, and it's for a company that,
Congratulations.
thank you, it was really fun, using some new technology,
Okay.
and with actors all over the world.
Oh, great.
And we, it's a screenplay
Okay.
that we recorded, like an audio version of an actual screenplay, but the screenplay is an animated feature.
Oh, great.
And it's called Rex Tanner and the Sword of Damocles. So this is kind of a...
Yay.
and it's all through kind of networking and meeting people. I don't know if I'm supposed to look this way or this way.
We've got, I think,
I don't know. I'm used to like nobody looking at me, so it doesn't matter. And so it was kind of a neat treat to do that. And I used 3 people from Atlanta.
Oh,
Are
yay.
in the show. So I thought, well, this is a chance for me to get to come after we finish the project.
Absolutely.
Adam's in it, and he plays Mick with a Russian accent, and Andrew he's our star, and Andrew Bates, I don't know where he is, and Amy Robinson's is not here. And you mentioned Mehmet and Andy.
Yes.
They also play parts because there were Turkish
That's awesome.
people
Yeah.
in the script, and I said, where am I going to find Turkish? And they did, so they recorded their stuff.
Oh, that's
and sent
great.
it. So it's in the process of being edited.
I was going to say, how can we see this? How can we?
You can't
how
see
can
it.
how can we hear this?
Well,
how can we get to it?
When eventually it gets produced, it's being produced by a company called Audible Scripts.
Okay.
And it's going to be on iTunes and audible.com. Is that what he said? Audible? I don't know. I just know the people and got to get them together. And I think you're going to be able to download it just straight, and then I think they're going to produce it with some sound effects. But it turns out the author is in Atlanta, too, so I'm going to get to meet him
that's
tomorrow
fantastic.
night. We're all going to get together face-to-face, which is the stuff that we really want to do.
Absolutely. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so
Yay,
I'm
congratulations.
excited about that.
And so, now that you've directed, what's next? Another one, or what? What's next for you?
Well, let's see how it comes out.
Well, I'm sure if you're involved, it's going to be amazing.
No, it's great. It's really fun, and I've gotten to some people from LA did parts in it too, and some big names.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if I can say it if you know.
We can't
well,
tell.
we can't tell.
I don't know. Can we?
Do Mark?
Go ahead, tell.
Mark DiCarlo is playing a role. He's amazing. Everybody's amazing. So
That's great.
So that's fun. And what else? I
When is
am
it?
working on a new show for Nickelodeon.
Oh, great.
And I'm not sure when it comes out. And Space Racers is a animated show for PBS. I think comes out in May, and I have some stuff.
Oh,
on
great.
that.
That's great. And I'm very excited that Katie Lee and Chris Lansdowne is going to be our special guest speakers at our VO Peeps May meetup. That's May, I want to say 29th?
It's the end of May.
The end of May. It's the last Saturday in May.
Chris and I work on a radio show we've been doing for 26 years called Adventures in Odyssey. I don't know if any of you know it. I play the role of Connie Kendall, who I think she started out at 15. She may be about 21 now, 22. And Chris is our announcer.
Great.
So
great.
she's, yeah.
I know that's been a super successful show, and I can't wait to have the two of you. It's going to be so much fun. So all of you guys, make sure that you tune in for that show.
And we'll probably not say much, just laugh and poke each other. So if you like to see stuff like that,
And that's always
tune in.
fun. That's always fun. So,
is really
Katie,
fun.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
For being here.
I can't wait to be on.
Yay.
All right.
All right. Let's see.
Go VO Atlanta 2014.
Yay! I do believe that I have a very, very special guest in the back of the room that I just saw enter, who just, I believe he came out with a book called Living on Air. And that would be Mr. Joe Cipriano. Yay! If we could welcome mega talent, author. Absolutely, I would love it.
Hello, honey. How you doing?
So
Hi, guys.
Wonderful.
How are you?
AJ.
AJ McKay.
Yes.
AJ
I'll stand.
did, for the audiobook,
Yes.
AJ did all of the production. We worked together for,
3.5 months.
yeah.
Good times.
Yeah, we just couldn't get it right. We just weren't very good.
It took
and
us a
it took
minute.
that long, yeah.
It was
But,
fun.
you know, he was amazing in everything that he did in bringing the book to life, you know, with all of the effects and the sound effects and the music. Greg Chun did all of our original music. And AJ was the guy who did it all.
It was a blast. I think everybody's going to be in for a real treat Saturday when we perform this thing, because it's like an old school radio show. I mean, it really is. The effects and everything happens so fast, and it puts you in the setting of what Joe's talking about. So there's music from the 60s, and there's all the sound design, all the radio stuff is like 60s style sound effects, the records and the, you know, everything. So it's really cool.
Yeah.
I love it, and there's nothing out there like it right now.
No,
Right?
I don't think so. I think,
don't think
you know,
so.
and Maurice Tobias directed the whole production, and she said, in fact, you know, that she wanted to kind of break the mold and do something a little bit different that hasn't been done before. I think more and more that audiobooks are going to incorporate more original music and
Yeah, I
effects.
think they're
going
gonna
to
have
that.
to,
Yeah,
because
I think so.
they're just
You know,
coming out now
I love
so
the Billy
much.
Crystal book, and I actually was just listening to that recently, and he used a lot of live performances. He did the book, the reading, in front of an audience. And we actually have a piece in our book that we used from a performance that we did in Brentwood at Diesel Bookstore. And it's just fun, you know, to have, I think that for anybody who's listening to an audiobook, to just have somebody tell the story, that's wonderful, but also to really create theater of the mind with it at the same time. It makes it something different.
It gives
you
it
know?
such an added dimension.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
I
I
love.
just want to add too, because a lot of people ask me, you know, what did you use? What software did you? I literally, because everybody thinks the answer is Pro Tools. I used Adobe Audition to do the entire book. So it goes to show that you
There
can
you
do
go.
really technical quality things on Adobe or on any other software. It doesn't have to be be Pro Tools. You don't have to spend, it's a great piece of software, but, you know, I mean, and because I told Joe, I said, boy, wait till they figure out that all this stuff was done in Adobe. And
But it's the creative genius behind it that's operating that software.
It can be done.
Well, there
you can
you go.
do
That's
anything.
right, yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
just, it's all about, you know, I guess the sky's the limit. So it's all about what you just put your mind up to it and you go for it. So Joe's like, well, I need this, you know, I need it to sound like it's coming through a PA system. And I'm like, oh, we can probably figure that out. All those plugins are there, you know, that come, and all of it was factory. Nothing, I didn't buy extra plugins. It was all, you know, I'm like, let's see what happens. So you can do it. You can do whatever you want to. You just have to put your mind to it. So.
Well, so that's great. So Saturday, you're doing something.
Saturday we're doing the live reading of Living on Air. AJ has everything loaded up into his iPad. All of the music
you're like the
and all
DJ
of the
back there.
yeah, he is. He's
everything's
my DJ.
on hotkeys, so
Yeah.
literally he reads and I'm
That's
clicking
awesome.
buttons like a crazy person.
See,
He's
that's
a
going to be
poker.
entertaining to see as well as hear.
Yeah,
It's
it
gonna
should be
great.
interesting.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I hope you all come to. We're having a party that's sponsored by Source Elements.
Party!
The
We
people
love
who
parties.
do, you know, Source Connect and at what they're calling Club Sip. So we're all invited to
Oh, I
party
love.
at Club Sip.
All right, I'm going.
I
I'm
can't
definitely
wait.
Going.
I can't wait. Yeah.
So what's next for you?
Is there something
Another
that
book?
has
Is
to
there
be
another?
next?
I don't know. It's
I
just,
like
what do
that.
you do now?
I've done a few interviews where they say Joe Cipriano and his first book, Living on Air, and I looked at Ann, my wife Ann, who's out there, who co-wrote the book with me. There she is.
Yay.
I said, so they're saying that's our first book. Now what the heck do we do? So I don't know. You know, we may come up
Reality
with something
show.
else.
Reality
But
show.
we did our the book launch was with the Peeps. And we
Yes,
came
it
down to
was.
your place.
Yay.
We did a great
In November?
broadcast.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was
so much
awesome.
fun. Oh my gosh, and it was like a star-studded
Oh,
audience.
it's great. We had Stu Herrera there and
Yep.
Scott Rummel, and yeah, it just
It was great.
went on and on. It
I
was
say we
fun.
do it every year.
All right, I'm
Let's
up
just-
with that.
let's a party
yeah.
every year.
So that means we have to
So-
write another book, Ann.
There you go. And you have to do it by what, November? Yeah. no.
Yeah, exactly. We have to get done by
We are
November.
not doing an audiobook version of that one, though. I cannot.
So, AJ, this is the first time I've met you, and I've heard so many wonderful things.
He's
and-
engaging, isn't he?
Yes.
And he's
I love-
tall.
I've already had,
I
like-
met AJ through Randy Thomas right there.
Randy Thomas, ladies
Yeah,
and
right
Yay,
there, ladies and
Randy.
gentlemen, right
we'll
there.
We'll talk to Randy in just a minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, AJ and I have been communicating via Facebook, and again, another one of the benefits of the face-to-face. I feel like I've known you for years already.
Right.
We just stood out there and talked for like an hour, like going
That's
on
so
and on and
great.
on. So it's just so wonderful to meet you. So tell me a little bit, AJ. How did Joe find you? How did you find Joe?
I love telling this story because 4 years ago, I was working in radio. I was a production director for 5 radio stations. I had done voice acting all along the way. And I just decided, I actually heard Bob Bergen speak. He came to Louisville, Kentucky, where I live.
Is Bob
And-
still out there?
Yeah, Bob's
There he
out
is,
there.
yeah.
Bob Bergen's out there. Hey, Bob!
Bob
Hi,
Bergen,
Bob.
ladies and gentlemen.
And Bob said the best thing ever. I mean, he wasn't there to do a workshop or a seminar. He was just there to speak and talk about his life experience. And he said, if you're not doing what makes you happy, and if you're not living your dream, then what the hell are you doing with your life? And that
Bob
just- it
Bergen,
hit
ladies
me.
and gentlemen,
Bob
right
Bergen.
there.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think this is the first time I've seen Bob since then, and I thanked him for those words because about 2.5, 3 months later, I quit my job in radio and I decided to take the leap and do voice acting full time. Shortly thereafter, I got a call out of the blue from Randy Thomas, who I had always looked up to, and I thought it was a prank phone call because I'm like, yeah, who's
Yeah,
this?
sure, you're Randy Town.
She needed an audio editor. She needed someone to edit audio for her and asked if I would be interested. And I said, oh, well, duh. So I've edited audio for, this is the first time tonight, actually, that I'm
Isn't that
meeting Randy.
amazing?
3 years
they
I've
have
known
worked
her.
together for how long?
3 years now.
And they've never met until this evening
until
when Randy
tonight,
got
right
here.
So.
Yay.
It's just unbelievable.
Thank
And that's
you.
what our community is all about. And that's why it's so
Absolutely.
wonderful that Gerald, brings something
Absolutely.
and produces something like this where we can all get together, because we do work in all of our little satellite kind of studios. And I had never met AJ until we did our Vegas event last month,
Right,
or
and
whenever it was.
Really?
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
worked together probably, like a year and a half, I
Yeah.
guess. And I met Joe through Randy. And it's surreal for me because,
amazing.
a guy living in Louisville, Kentucky, working in radio, within, a year, I'm working with two of the biggest people in the industry that I've looked up to for so long.
No, you're working with me and Randy.
Oh, yeah.
Bob and
No, I was
Dave
talking about
Fennoy.
Bob. I was talking about
okay.
Bob and Ann.
Yeah.
No, but no, I mean, it's surreal. So I mean, dreams do come true, and things can happen because, like, for me, really, I mean, everyone has dreams and goals, and I want to do bigger things, with my career. But to work with these two on a daily basis is really a blessing. So, you just have to go for it. Just go for your dream. Don't wait. Don't say, "Oh, I can't do it."
He's a good guy,
Just
AJ.
go for it.
He's a good
thank
guy.
you. Thank you so much for that. Oh my goodness. I have chills.
I know.
What the
Yeah.
gosh.
So what's new with you?
Oh
How are
my
you
God.
doing?
I'm doing great. I'm
Yeah?
doing great. I'm so excited. It's
Thanks
just,
for having us up here.
I have, oh my God, it's like awesome for me. Everybody, there's so many people. I could go on for like 3 hours, or more than 3 hours probably. There's
And
so
I
many
see my
wonderful
buddy
people.
George Whittam over there.
Yes,
Georgie!
thank you so much, George.
Yeah.
Where would we be without George? I'm
George,
telling
what
you.
was up with that picture you posted today? You were kind of like looking out at the sun. And I said, "Oh my God, you look so freaking lonely. What's going on?
He hadn't
We got to
arrived
get
yet.
you a woman or something." You were waiting for Ann Ganguzza.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
That should be a movie, Waiting for Ann Ganguzza.
Ooh. And on
She's
that
what?
note-
She's in makeup. All
Yeah,
right.
That's right. It really was. I think
You're
that's
not
where I
wearing
was.
any makeup.
Oh, no,
This is
it's all
natural
It's all
beauty.
natural. Yeah.
Right. That's natural.
Anyways, yeah. Thanks,
But
guys.
thank you. We don't want to
Thank you
take over
so
your
much, guys.
thing here.
What a
I know you have
pleasure.
many more
Thanks for
talented
having us.
people.
What a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Andy. Thank you. We'll see you guys all on Saturday night, but we'll be around.
And so, thanks. Okay, so you did mention Bob Bergen in the back. Bob Bergen, keynote speaker. Could I get Bob Bergen to come up here and chat a bit? Yeah, come on. Let's hear it, guys.
I'm seeing you in September. Oh my God, yay! How are you?
I'm awesome. Yay, in September.
Yes,
VO Peeps.
I'm coming. Yeah, I'm gonna.
Look,
I'm
you've
gonna-
heard it here first.
I'm gonna peep you.
I love it.
It's a peep
I love
show
it.
in September.
So, I'm so excited. So again, another person that I've been interacting with via online methods, and I.
Online's cool.
Yeah, online is awesome.
You can be.
It
How
is.
many of you have I communicated with online? Emailed,
Whoa,
Facebooked.
at least.
I bump into people at these things that, well, I know you.
And I know everybody knows you online. I'm sure they do.
Well, no, I'll see people come up to me like at Comic-Con and go, "You were Facebook friends." I'm like, I thank you for clearing that up.
10,000
That's
friends
right,
later.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So keynote speaker for
Yeah, I'll-
VO
I'll
Atlanta.
write something tonight at 4 a.m.,
Okay.
you know,
You'll
it's-
come up with
I
something.
have no idea what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
So, and that's tomorrow. Oh my goodness.
Tomorrow at 9.
That's it. All right.
I will change your life.
I love it. I love it.
Well, I'll give you a little sample of what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, that would be great.
Raise your hand if you're happy with your career. Keep your hand high if you've reached the top of your
I'm
career.
seeing maybe what, 5?
Raise your
5
hand.
hands?
Raise your hand if you don't know what the hell to do with your career and how to get to where you want it to be. There you go. There you go. There you
Yeah.
go.
I'm turning the camera so we can see
So
the majority.
basically, tomorrow the conversation is going to be why are you your own worst enemy, and how are you getting in the way, and what are you going to do about it? I'm telling you right now, I don't care if you're brand new to voiceover or you're represented by the top agents on the planet. You're all in the same boat. You're all trying to go for the same thing, which is to follow your dream. The problem is most people have absolutely no idea what that means. So tomorrow I'm going to help you guys pretty much figure out what, specifically and strategically what it is you want out of your voiceover career.
I love it. Oh my God, I'm there. I'm there. Sounds good to me.
Boy, I better not suck, huh?
You heard it here live.
And I'm going to shave, I promise. My mom said, "You got to shave, honey. You can't look like that. There's people there." I said, "Mom,
There's people here.
it's why I went into voiceover. Who cares?"
What do you mean there's people here? I love it. I love it. Did you just get in today?
Like
Like literally
a couple hours
a couple
ago,
hours
yeah.
ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple hours and one martini. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much. I'm
Thank
so
you.
excited to see your keynote tomorrow. Are you doing any of the X sessions? Or?
I was told I have an X-rated session, yes.
An X-rated
I don't know-
oh, I meant an X session.
I don't know what that is, but they said you're doing an X-rated session. I said, okay, great. Do I bring copy? They
No,
said, sure.
I think it's X session.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's
yeah,
because
no,
Porky Pig doesn't wear pants.
Well, yeah, there you go. Now it's X-rated.
But he's also
Now it's X-rated.
he's also
They're totally smooth.
And that's important.
And nothing down there.
That's important.
He's
But-
got no genitally,
Maybe
no
that's
genitally, no
G-rated then.
genitally, and no pee-pee.
All right. You too. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Is Randy Thomas out there? Where is she? Randy. Yay. Yay, Randy. See, they're all in the back of the room, so it's like a 5-mile walk. Mwah. Hello, hello. Welcome.
Hi,
Thanks.
everybody. I've seen you sitting here for hours, by the way. So I know you probably are dying to get your clothes off. You know, I mean in the good way.
In
like
the good
at the
way.
end of
Yes,
the day when you go
yes.
up to your room and you just get out of your, that didn't sound right, did it?
But before we do that, tell us all your secrets. There you go. So I'm so excited to have you here and to be talking with you. What are you going to be doing here in VO Atlanta Conference?
Good question.
Yeah.
I'm actually, they've given me a booth.
Nice.
So I have copies of my book called Voice for Hire that I co-wrote with Peter Rofe, who is one of the top coaches in New York. And we wrote a book about how to get into voiceover, how to get to the top of your game. So I brought some copies, and if anybody would like one, or if you just want to stop by and say hi and ask me questions, I would love to meet each and every one of you. I have been a very big supporter of women in particular that want to do voiceover work because...
Yay. Absolutely.
Listen, and I'm seeing the ratio here. It's kind of... We may have a few more women than men,
Yeah.
but the reality in voiceover is that men get more work than the women. So I applaud you for coming to a place where you can get all those little secrets and find an edge to sort of get in there and find a way to get yourself heard, because that's the point. We all want to be heard. All of us
Absolutely.
that do voiceover work, if you come from an actor's heart, we all want to be liked. We all want to, get approval, and we really enjoy being, sort of in the middle. We like to do that.
Absolutely.
So I wrote this book, but one of the things that I'm going to do is sit on a panel on Saturday that I believe Voices.com is a part of. And we're going to talk about... there you
Stephanie's
are,
here.
Stephanie. I didn't realize that was you. I haven't met you before either, have I? Stephanie
Yay.
Cicerelli. So thank
Yay,
you for
Stephanie.
pointing yourself out. So we're going to talk about union versus non-union. And I happen to live in Florida, which is a right-to-work state. I came from Los Angeles, and that's where my career got going. So I am a union talent, but I live in a non-union state, so there's a lot to talk about. There are a lot of
Right.
conversations to have. But
Absolutely.
the one thing I can be very clear about is that you can make money, you can be successful in voiceover without being union, but you can never get a first-class career without being part of the union. So if your aspirations take you, to places that you can't even imagine, then I would say probably that we'll talk about it more on Saturday, and I would love to hear input. But for people like Dave Fenoy, Bob Bergen, Joe Cipriano, and myself, we can't do what we do without being union actors. So that's kind
Are
of what
they
I'm
all
going
on
to
the
do.
panel with you on Saturday? Who's on the panel with you?
Stephanie, do you know who's on the panel?
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
I don't know. None of these guys are, but I would turn to Dave and to Bob
But they're all here.
particularly because they're very involved with all the conversations and all of the negotiations that union has, and they're much more knowledgeable than I. I'm just someone that's passionate, so I'm lucky that I got on a panel.
Oh, well, thank you so much. So excited. Thanks so much for talking with us, and everybody will talk to you on Saturday. I see Dave Fenoy over there by the doorway. If Dave Fenoy would mind. Hi, yay, welcome. Mwah. So good to see you.
And you look so great.
Why, thank you. You too.
Hubba, hubba.
I'm so excited.
How's everybody? Welcome to the ATL.
Atlanta, yeah.
And I've got how many times are you going to play my thing with the Peeps?
I play it all the time.
Every
I
month
love
or
it.
so.
I love it. It just goes on.
Yeah, it just goes on.
Because nobody ever tires of you. It's awesome. So yeah, so you're here and you're going to be doing a couple of sessions here.
A couple of sessions. I'm going to be with Bob. We're going to be talking about animation.
Great.
I'm going to do a big, long panel on Saturday on acting for games. And I don't know how many people are interested in being voices on games, but
everybody I know.
It's a huge, huge industry.
It sure
Most
is.
of the time, we don't hear much about the game industry in this country until somebody shoots a bunch of people, and then it's the fault of those violent games.
The violent games.
But it is a worldwide business that makes more money than movies and music combined, and hires more people, not just those of us who want to be voice actors, but people behind the scenes,
Sure.
the musicians who might in another career done music for movies or television. Well, now they're doing them for games. Cinematographers who are shooting mocap. It's an amazing industry, and we're going to look at it from the point of view of being a voice actor, and I'm going to even have some copy and give some folks a chance to practice and learn how to create characters a little better.
Love that. So recently you've been doing a lot of game work. Is that pretty much what you've been doing lately, or what else is on?
I do a little of everything. I have an audio book. I did my first audio book last year.
All right.
And I told myself I would never, ever do an audio book. It was too many words for not enough money.
Yeah.
And somebody got in touch with me and said, well, I'll offer you enough money.
That works.
So I did it, and it's been nominated for an award. So
an Audie?
I'm very proud of that.
All right, congratulations.
But from time to time, you'll hear me doing narrations for like National Geographic or the Science Channel. Promos, of course, if you watch Hulu, you hear me all the time.
The voice of Hulu.
Promos for different TV stations around the country. Cartoons and games. I do a little bit of everything, and that's actually the way I like it. I wake up in the morning, oh, what am I doing today?
Exactly.
Oh, really? Okay, great. Yeah, sure.
You don't want to be bored.
Never want to be bored.
For sure.
Never want to be bored.
Well, gosh, it's been so good talking to you. I'm so excited to see you again. You'll come back to be a VO Peeps guest, please.
Anytime you ask me.
All right. That's great. Well, this year then. We're definitely doing it. Thank you so much. Let's see. I see Mary Lynn Wisner in the audience. I'd like to have Mary Lynn come up. Yay. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Hi, everybody.
So
I was thinking we should do a selfie, to kind of.
Oh, right. We're all going to get together and do that famous selfie like
yeah.
Ellen did. Yeah, we could definitely nail that for sure. So tell me, what are you going to be doing here for VO Atlanta? I know you've got a couple of great sessions, right? You're on a few panels.
Yes, I'm on a commercial panel, and then I'm doing a how to break into voiceover panel or class, and then I'm also doing what gets you booked. And that comes from
that's
my
right. That's
casting.
sold out already, I think,
yeah,
right?
that's great. So I'm really excited for any of you joining us. That'll be a lot of fun. And obviously that all comes from my casting background and what
I was going to say casting
right,
extraordinaire here. So for those of you that don't know, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's mostly, the things that I know that get talent booked. And I also developed an app for the voice actors, the self-direction app, so we'll be talking about that. and
That's
how to
new,
use
right?
it.
That just came out in the last few months?
Yeah, it came out in November, and we just actually, it just came out for the Android version as well. So,
And so tell us a little bit about the app.
Yeah, it's, I also teach and coach all around the country, and what I have noticed is, you know, everybody's very intimidated about self-direction and, you know, being stuck in your
For
booth at
sure.
home. And so I took everything that I teach and put it into an app. And it comes, like I said, from the casting perspective. There are 5 popular directions that always get asked for in casting, and they are sort of the foundation for all voiceovers. So I teach the actors how to do this, and then I give you little tricks on how to make your audition stand out. So you can take this app into the booth with you and have wonderful
And
auditions.
what is the app called, in case
The app
anybody's
is
interested?
called VoiceOver Self-Direction.
Okay.
For the iPhone, iPad, and Android versions.
All right.
And yeah, so that's going really well. So I'm going to talk about that, and then
You do a lot of, I mean, you're working like,
I'm busy.
like you do a lot of casting classes, and
Yeah.
I just see all the time that you've got great things going on.
I have
You keep
nothing else
yourself
going on
busy.
in my life.
Yeah.
No, I'm a mom too, so I'm busy. No, but yeah, I do casting, and then I also do these Meet the Pro events where I have pros come in our industry. Of course, I'm based in Los Angeles, so I've had wonderful people like Bob Bergen and such come in and talk to, you know, voiceover people about what's going on, what they do, and how to break in. And then I also do Meet the Agents, where we'll have guest agents come, and actors can talk to the agents, find out what they're looking for, and read
Good
for them.
stuff.
Yeah, so it's been really great, and it's been wonderful for me because I basically sort of sit there like a fly on the wall and have been exposed to these wonderful people in our industry, and then I can just translate that and pass that along to all the actors that I work with.
That's so wonderful.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
that's just
fun.
what a great
It's
sentiment
fun.
that is. I think
Yeah.
we all share that too.
Yeah,
is that we're able to pass on wonderful
love what I
things that we
do.
get from other wonderful people in the industry.
And like you were saying earlier, I mean, we are, you know, we don't get to see each other a lot, and now with
this
casting,
is special.
everything is online, and you know, most of the time I get actors just sending me MP3 files. I don't get to see them coming into the office anymore. So it's just really nice to have something like this conference. To,
Yeah.
To
It
see
can it keeps your sanity, I think.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
talking to yourself in your booth for
I
too
know,
long,
I know.
I need to
Is
get out.
anybody there?
I need to get out.
yeah.
Well, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for stopping
Thank you for
by and
having
chatting
me.
with us, Mary Lynn.
Have fun, everybody.
I do believe we have Gabby Mystico in the audience. Yay! See, there's so many can you believe the amount of people? I've just I'm having an overload of sensory wonderfulness for all these people. Gabby, thank you so much. So good to see Gabby. Now, Gabby, it's been way too long. It's been like a year. Gabby was
At least.
when what? At least it might have been a year and a half. You were I think 2000.
Peeps, yeah.
12 maybe. I don't know. It might
Too
have been
long.
2012.
Too long.
Way too long. The girl needs to come to California. So yeah. All right.
I'm due. Well, I'll be in Anaheim. So,
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we'll see.
Not too
we'll
far
see
away.
you then. All
Yeah.
right. Well, great. So what's going on? What's new? What's exciting?
Oh my goodness.
What brings you to Atlanta?
I love Gerald. That's why.
Yes. We all love Gerald.
I support what he does all the time. So, big fan. I am close. I mean, Charlotte, 3 hours away. So it's, just
a drive, a hop, skip, and
yeah,
a jump.
not a big deal. So anytime I can come and hang out with the Atlanta crew, I'm happy to do it.
Great.
And meet everybody and see my friends.
I know. It's awesome.
We just launched VO Prep, which is what used to be VO Career in the Voice Hunter family.
Oh, okay.
And so that's brand new. And
What is that about?
VO Prep is basically like a preparatory process for how to break into the industry, a step-by-step way that you can sort of assess where you are and if you're ready for the next major hurdles in the industry, kind of a measurable way to really track your progress and see where you're headed from the business standpoint and also from a performance standpoint so that you don't spend money needlessly or spend it in the wrong place at the wrong time. So.
Oh, that's important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you also run a meetup group, right?
I do, in Charlotte. It's a lot of fun. It's probably one of the best things I've ever done in the business.
Aren't they great?
When I moved to Charlotte from New York, there was nobody. It was crickets. I went, where are the voiceover people? And that was it. There was nothing. And I couldn't believe it. And so little by little, I sort of started to just talk to folks, meet the studio people and the ad agencies, and started finding the voice actors. And there's tons of them, and I was shocked.
I know, they're all over. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's incredible.
I keep meeting new ones every day, and it's like, whoa, how did you live right here?
Well, and it's I was just featured in a magazine locally in Charlotte 2 weeks ago. They did an article on voice actors, and 2 voice actors locally who I've known about, who we've, have various friends. We've just never actually met face to face. That's the first time we met, was at a photo shoot for the magazine.
Wow.
It was unbelievable.
Wow.
And so the Meetup has really been a great way for new people to find their way, to just find and access information, and to, again, have that face-to-face, that networking, and the guest speakers. I mean, it's great. I tell them every week, I go, if it weren't for this, I wouldn't get out of my pajamas. I have no reason to.
I know. It's so true,
I
isn't
get
it?
dressed
I like to
go
dress
Meetup.
up.
Yeah.
I like to dress
So
up,
it's nice.
That's my excuse. Oh, I gotta buy a dress. No, going
Absolutely.
out. I'm going out of the booth. So
Exactly.
gotta put clothes on. You
Yeah,
know?
no, there's days I walk outside and I go,
I gotta brush my teeth, So you have a booth here at VO Atlanta.
Yes,
So if
I will
anybody
have a
has,
booth. I'll have my books. I'll be talking about coaching and Voice Hunter.
You've got a
and
couple of
VO
books out
Prep.
there, right?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
What are
I've
your
got
books?
a couple of different ones. VO101, which is of course the beginner intro sort of self-study guide at home. There's How to Set Up and Maintain a Better Voiceover Business, which is one of my more popular books because it's all about the business of the industry, marketing, branding,
Important.
sales. Yep. And then just recently we put out a pocket book that's on agents and how to submit to agents and start learning how to win them over in a little bit more detail. And then of course there's my imaging and promo work, which is in book and DVD form. Yep.
Fabulous promo and imaging work.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I love my stations. They're awesome. I'm actually right now up for potentially a station here in Atlanta, so.
Yay.
Fingers crossed, yeah.
Fingers
That'd
crossed.
Be great.
Well, gosh, thank you so much, Gabby. Congratulations. Thanks for being here. Mwah. We will see you soon. And speaking of Meetup group leaders, I'm seeing one that she's got a camera, she's running, she's passing it off to Gabby. So, Susan Bernard, yay! Susan, come on up. Come on down, Susan. Of course you're an A-lister. So Susan, you run a very popular Meetup group in the Texas area.
I do. I run a Meetup group in Dallas, and it's fabulous. And
just like Susan.
Just like Ann. I feel so special being up here, I gotta tell you.
Please, get comfortable. Let's talk. Let's talk about your Meetup group, and when did you form it, and what was your inspiration?
It formed about 4 years ago, but didn't really start taking off until fairly recently. And the greatest thing about it is that everybody that comes adds something to it.
Oh, so
and
true.
As somebody that's not total A-lister like all these popular people that you're seeing out here, I just came on as a voice talent and I was like, oh my God, I need to be with a group of people, just like everybody else is saying. Yeah. So, long story short, long story longer, like only I can do, right? I was really excited about.
But we love to listen to you, Susan.
I know
we
you do. I love to listen to myself. Thank you. Right?
We all love to talk, don't we? Yeah, that's why we're in this industry.
So I know, because I'm pretty ornery like that, but I can't help it. I don't have the, Ganguzza Meister.
Oh, Ganguzza.
But anyways, so what? Thank you. So okay, let me pose here because I never get to do this. But anyway, what was going on, what was really great about the group was that people came together and really wanted to know more because we're all on the path.
Yes, we are
all
on
of us
the
are
journey.
different, have different philosophy on what's going on. But the great thing is that we can all learn from each other. And there's no one way to get to the top. Everybody's got their own story. I feel like Kathy Lee. Whatever.
No,
But
it's so true. Everybody has their own journey. Everybody has their own story.
Everybody does.
And it's always, you always can learn from other people.
You do. You totally do.
I'm the biggest supporter of, just learning from all of us that are in the industry. There's something that everybody has to offer. So.
I remember when Ann came to Dallas.
I know.
And it was great. And
Susan went out of her way to come see me. I mean, I don't even know how long you traveled. It was like an hour or so, or I don't know.
It was only 18 hours, but it's
okay. It was crazy, right? And I was so touched that this girl who I'd never met
But
in
it's
person.
like that. I mean, it really is a
Yeah.
community, but it was really great.
She
And-
drove all that way to just see me.
Oh my God.
It was great.
It's just, I push the fact in my group that a lot of times it isn't necessarily what you know, but who you know. That is important, and I know that's true. But everybody thinks either they've got a great voice, or I was told I could do this, or I've been in radio, or I've been talking since I was like 3 months old, whatever, okay? So I'm like thinking,
hey, me too.
Haven't we all been talking
Yeah.
since we're like 5 months old? But it takes a little bit of talent. It takes a lot of tenacity. It takes some time to get to where you need it to be. You're not going to become a major voice talent overnight. But my group is all about making sure that people are not steered into a wall. There's a lot of misinformation out there. You want to get as much training as possible. You want to make sure that you forge solid relationships.
Yes.
Because if
so you
somebody's
get that support.
Totally. If somebody's not hearing the sincerity in your voice or thinking that you're just blowing smoke, you might get the job for somebody that sounds like they're blowing smoke or being a schmoozer, but really, really, a lot of it is relationships in this business, and that's what we're supposed to do not only with gaining clients, but being part of the business. And you have to learn from somebody, so grab a mentor, grab somebody that you honestly trust and that you respect, and glom on and learn as much as you can from
That's
these
it.
people that are
Yeah.
out there. Anne does a terrific job at marketing, hugely, obviously, and she's a techie person. And I kind of call myself, and I know it's not politically correct, but a technotard. I'm frequently, seriously, I'm frequently afraid of technology, but because of people like George Whittam, who does EWABs, when you're in,
Yay.
seriously, when you're in this network of people, you'll learn more and more, and people will say, did you hear about this editor, or have you done this, or whatever? And it does mushroom exponentially, and it's an incredible experience to be part of it. There's such energy and synergy within this industry. It's great. There's going to be a percentage that falls off, but if you're really into it, you'll find your niche, as the
Yes.
Canadians say, or niche or whatever,
Yes.
and then you can kind of go forward, seriously.
And I think a meetup group is really instrumental in creating, maintaining, and infusing motivation and
I do too.
inspiration in voiceover, because we all get to that place where, well, you're having a down moment or a week or two, and it's like, oh God, what am I doing? Like, why am I, And so we all need that support from that I think a group can give us, and our friends that can give us.
And to that end, I'll just say, as a voice talent, I may not be as well known as like a Randy Thomas or a Bob Burgett or a Joe Cipriano, but I will tell you that coming together to make it happen, and it's really true and near and dear to my heart, if you do that, it grows too, because there's always somebody that goes, my brother-in-law does this, or my brother-in-law needs this. Needs this application for your voice, or we've been looking for this, or this is something to grow and be part of. And it's really, it's a life-changing experience. And my background's radio, but this is so different. This is so incredibly different, but it's such a love fest, and I'm just excited. And when I get to see familiar faces, I'm so really touched that people are really bring something major to the table. So I try and forge, again, the community of bringing people together and making sure that it works. And if you don't have a meetup group, you need to seriously think about starting one and bringing it together.
It's easy, and it's, and it's what a wonderful, oh my gosh, what a wonderful love you are. Oh, mwah, what a great leader, and thank you so much for talking to us about your group. Love you. Let's see, did Stephanie leave? Is Stephanie still here? Stephanie Ciccarelli. Ooh, Stephanie. And David, you're not far behind. I see you back there. You can't hide. Yay. Stephanie Ciccarelli, everybody, voices.com. Hey. Mwah. Yes, it does. You just got in there so elegantly. So,
thank you.
Yay. Did you just get in today?
We did. Yeah, I
Oh.
flew in with Jennifer. We're both here from voices.com, and
Yeah.
loving that we're in the same time zone as we left from.
As opposed to me.
Meals
Yeah.
are at the same time, and usually it's us having to go to the West Coast, of course, where you are, and to hang out with you
Exactly.
fun peeps there. So.
Yeah. So what brings you to Atlanta?
Well, everyone in this room, frankly, and all those who have already gone to their beds, we're here to celebrate with the voiceover community and really just be part of that movement and the spirit that's here in Atlanta.
Great. And you're going to be doing a session, or you're on a panel?
I'm on a panel.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And you're, thank you for the sponsorship for VO Atlanta. That's always so important, to be able to bring together everybody. And so, you know, voices.com, you're all over, and it's just wonderful. So we definitely appreciate that.
Oh, thank you.
So what's going on with you? What's new? What's new with voices.com? I know that you had your book out last year, right? And how's that going?
Very well. The book
good?
It's
Everybody's writing
basically
books.
everywhere books are sold, which is awesome. That's what happens, I guess, when you work with Wiley and you get that kind of publicity and coverage. So yeah, it's been wonderful. It's opened many different doors, and we've run into people who have actually got the book before they came here, and now they have 2 copies. They're so ecstatic. They don't know what to do with themselves.
Yay, that's great. That's great. Yeah, and that's been out a couple of years now, though, right? Or is
just last year,
was it
January
just-
2013.
Wow, I'm thinking it's been out for a couple of. Well,
It's been like a work in progress, certainly. Like I've had a blog for over 5-6 years, and all the content from there kind of inspired the material that you see in the book. And I just want to put this out there. I'm very grateful to Mark Grau, who was our technical editor. I know he is not here, but I want to acknowledge him right now. So thank you, Mark Grau.
Thank you, Mark Grau. Yay. That's great. And so voices.com, big player in the community in providing all sorts of opportunities for voiceover artists. That's great. I know that you've gotten a multitude of awards for your business. That's awesome. How's that going?
Well, we
Anything
really
new?
love to be recognized in, as you said, a business. And I think that that's a very important distinction because, you know, you can look at just all the creative, wonderful things that go on, but the fact of the matter is that there is a team of now 40 people working full-time at voices.com who are making this all happen.
Yeah, you better.
And we are on a roll. We are going to be at 70 employees by the fall.
Oh, that's fabulous. Wow, good for you. That's great.
Thank you.
Wow. So, very excited. Thank you so much for stopping by and
Yes,
chatting with us.
absolutely.
And we'll see you on Saturday at the panel.
You will.
All right.
Thank you.
I believe we have a couple of scholarship winners. Now, I'm not exactly sure. I know that Amy's here. Is Margot also? Where are you, Margot? Oh, actually, maybe I could have the two of you come up. We have our VO2014 Atlanta Scholarship winners here. You can stand and sit. So we have Amy and we have Margot. So congratulations to our scholarship winners.
Thank you.
So I'd like to ask you, what is it that you hope to get out of this conference?
I was really looking forward to the networking with everybody because that's always a skill that I can improve upon. And just going to the next step of the business.
So you're also an actress, right? And so you've now just getting back into or evolving?
I actually fell into voiceover kind of by accident a couple of years ago. It was just something I thought, I'll add this as a tool to the arsenal. And then I turned out to really love it. And I fell away from it for a little bit, and this is part of me getting back to it.
Now, I'm sure your acting background has helped you in a multitude of ways in the industry.
Oh yeah, immensely. It, it's made me very sure of what to say. No.
And I'm doing that now.
Stammer for words.
Oh, great. And now, Margot, you also a scholarship recipient, and you were in voiceover, or what? You can sidle up to the mic there. Tell us a little bit about how you got involved and what you hope to get out of this conference.
I'm really quite new at the business of it. I've done some voiceover work here and there just because I love it, actually for about 15 years, but never dreamed that I could make a business, a career out of it. So my goal is to make a career out of it, and
That's great.
I'm hoping that this will be a life-changing experience.
Oh, that's great. Well, I'm so excited. So you guys, I hope to see you at all of the sessions this weekend and get to know you better. And we're so happy to be able to support you in your dreams and in making your dreams come true.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Mwah. Love you guys.
Thank you.
I believe I see Mr. David Goldberg from Edge Studio on the sidelines. Really, have I gone through look at all these people. I'm amazed. So good to see you. Mwah.
That's the reason to come
Aw.
to Atlanta. Right there.
Wow, so glad to have you here in Atlanta and to see you again. I just saw you a month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, in your home, in my old stomping grounds of New York.
Really? Are you from New York?
I'm originally from New York. Yes, I am.
Did I know that and I forgot?
You might have forgotten. And then I lived in New Jersey for a few years too.
Oh, right,
so,
right, right.
Yep.
Yeah. I knew that.
Yep, that you knew. Yeah. So, what brings you here to Atlanta?
Plane.
The plane.
Gerald calling saying, David, would you come down? Oh, it's loud. So yeah, I'm doing 2 things here. Actually 3, which
Okay.
is pretty cool. I'm sitting at a panel, and I don't know when it is, but I think it's on Friday. We'll find our way. Okay. There is a panel
They'll
which will
show
be
up.
on about the future of voiceover, which should be really cool. And then I think on Saturday afternoon, we're talking about long-term growth. I have a presentation on long-term growth, which I strongly encourage everyone to come to. Basically, we just see all kinds of voice actors at Edge Studio, and some are so successful, and some begin successfully, and just sort of their client list just drops. And we're going to kind of explore the differences between them and kind of break it down into some system that kind of works for you and help you build a business model that really helps you get work and the kind of work that you enjoy. There are a lot of opportunities out there, and we'll talk about those. And Saturday night should be really fun. How many of you were at the Saturday night event last year? Okay. So we closed the hotel down last year. We're doing it again. It's a copy reading class, which is
Ooh,
really fun.
fun.
Yeah, so I have lots of scripts for everyone, and it should be a good time.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be amazing. Yeah,
I
you're
hope so.
busy. You're traveling all over the place lately.
am.
Every time I turn around, it's like David Goldberg is in another state. So, what keeps you so busy? Are you going and you're doing seminars or for Edge?
Yeah,
or that's
classes,
great.
Yeah.
And Edge has really been up and coming these last few. I've hearing
Yeah,
a lot
that's
of.
good.
You guys are doing a lot of wonderful things. Your weekly, is it your weekly contest that you do?
Yeah.
And you I have to say thank you to, I have so many people that support the Scholarship Fund, and I want to say thank you so much again for Edge's support. And Joe Cipriano, I know he may or may not be back there, but thank you so much for your support for the
Yeah,
fund.
our
It
pleasure.
really, really helps to make a difference, and you help people's dreams come true. So I'm deeply grateful for that, and the community is.
Yeah, well,
so
thanks.
thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So, thanks so much for coming and talking to me.
Yeah, thanks everyone else for
appreciate it.
coming too. It should be a really fun
Lots of
3 or
great
4
things
days.
that you're doing. So yeah, I'm going to stop
Yeah.
by that copy workout.
Yeah, if you guys have
for
any,
sure.
oh, I should let you know that we're offering free coaching at the booth, which is somewhere around the corner.
Yeah, right around the
So
corner.
for the next 3 days, you can come by anytime and get free coaching.
Yay. That's awesome.
Cool. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much. Okay, I want to make sure Elaine? Yay, Elaine. We've got Elaine. And I want to make sure, are we going on 3 hours now? Like,
Yes.
Hi, Elaine Clark.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yes.
Welcome to
I
to our
am-
live broadcast
I
and
am
to
so
VO Atlanta.
happy to be here in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what are you going to be doing here in
Well, I
Atlanta?
have 3 things going on.
Okay.
I have one, tomorrow I'm going to do, tomorrow morning after Bob Bergen does his speech,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm going to have a presentation about all the different types of work that you may or may not even know exists out there. Because one of the things, I have a school in San Francisco called Voice One, and I've been doing acting and producing and casting for 35 years. And so you start finding out all these other areas and these niche areas that
Sure.
you might not have known exist. So we're going to go over a bunch of those presentations and answer a lot of questions.
Great.
And then I'm going to be on a panel with
Okay.
several talented people talking about the VO business. And that will be in the afternoon.
Okay.
And then on Saturday morning, I have my X session, which I think, according to Bob, it's clothing optional. Is that right?
You should, yeah.
I heard that
Well,
Porky's
that's a
coming without
fun
any clothes,
session.
but maybe I think I will be wearing something. Anyway, so that's where we're going to work on some scripts. I have some radio and TV scripts that we're going to just really drill down. So some of you might
fun.
be familiar with my book, There's Money Where Your Mouth Is. So we're going to be working on just how to get more meat out of your read so you can
Great.
up your booking ratio and make your clients happy.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Do you have copies of your book here too?
I just brought like one. I don't know why, because I had to bring clothes.
That's okay. I'm sure that's right.
I don't
you had
really
to
think
put the
about this sort of
clothes in
stuff.
your. Yeah, there
Oh,
you
but
go.
I do have. But you'll find out about this tomorrow. But I have an app that I just created
Ooh,
called
nice.
Activate Your Voice.
and it is a 5-minute vocal warm-up. So it's
Oh,
only
great.
99 cents,
Oh, that's
but it
fabulous.
really just makes your voice come alive through your articulators, your, your enunciators, just make your resonators. So it really is very nice. And it's really based on just a page or two from my book.
Note to self, VO Peeps app. Do you
Yeah.
notice how many
Activate
apps are
your
coming
voice.
out lately? You know, that's...
Yeah.
And all of
Yeah.
you should be thinking, app, how can I?
Yeah, we're app happy here.
We're app happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great little thing.
Well, thank
so
you.
awesome. Well, thank you so much for
thank
stopping by.
you.
Boy, you're busy. You're busy.
I do stay busy.
So, all right. Well,
Yeah, and
so
you-
wonderful to finally meet you in person,
Yes,
too.
you too.
And
You're delightful.
next time you come to LA, you are in a VO Peeps.
I will do that,
Yeah.
and maybe sometimes like you showed up at our at my office. It was so funny. That come over here for a second. So this is so
Stephanie.
funny. Stephanie is So she was down the hall. She came in from Canada, of course, and was down the hall getting a seminar. And she realized the place that she was learning how to do more stuff was just right down the hall from Voice One. So she came in, knocked on the door, and just said, "Elaine, that's your studio right next door." I said, "Yeah." So we had a really good time, and then she had to scoot away to go on and continue with her group. But it was really fabulous. Anyway,
It was awesome. Yes, thank you.
good. I
Well,
just had to bring you
thank
back
you.
in there. Anyway, so we'll go. Anyway, I'll see you guys later.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Oh my gosh, have I missed anybody? Is anybody? Oh, you're so fun. Anybody else? Anybody want to come and say a few words? Otherwise, I mean, I know we've been broadcasting, and it's. Oh yes, Alex from Voice Tracks. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Oh, you've been taking pictures. Thank you so. I'm so. Alex, right?
Andrew.
Oh, Adam. We just met tonight, so
We did,
How
we
did we
did,
live
and
so close together and I've
I
never
don't
met
know.
you? What
I
is
don't
up with
know, yeah.
that?
I mean, it's a small community, but there's always
But
new
yet it's
people to
large.
meet. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
it's
so it's wonderful to finally meet you. So tell us what brings you to Atlanta?
so I'm actually accompanying my wonderful girlfriend Noelle Romano, who's doing a kids
Yes.
program on Saturday.
Everyone knows Voice Tracks
yes,
in the LA
and,
area.
And so, but I own Voice Tracks West. I'm
Mhm.
kind of the current owner. It's been around since the 80s and stuff. But I don't know. I'm just really thrilled to be.
That's a long time for
It
this.
is
Your
a
studio's
very,
been
it
around
is a
a
very
long
long
time.
time. Yeah, Tom.
That's a
Tom,
feat in
started by Tom
itself.
Pinto, if anyone knows. You know, who's still
Yes.
a voice actor today. So and.
Oh, he started? I didn't know
Yeah,
that. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and yeah. So I'm the fourth owner now, and we're
Okay.
just really thrilled to kind of host a lot of this stuff. And I
Yeah.
have tried since I've taken over, tried to really lift the community that we've been talking about so much. And so we host Bob Bergen's class,
Mhm,
which we've been
mhm.
doing for more than 10 years before I was a part of it. We host Mary Lynn's
Yep.
events that she was talking about on
Mhm.
Tuesdays and Thursdays. Really thrilled this year to bring on Scott Brick. For
Oh,
who knows
nice.
so he's been doing workshops every 4 weeks or so.
Great.
And plus workout groups. We just do lots of things to kind of bring actors and try and
Mhm.
help actors along with our other production stuff.
Okay.
We work with Edge Studio a lot as their kind of West Coast, one of their West Coast places for coaching. Noelle teaches
Right.
her private
okay.
stuff out of there.
At your
yeah,
studio.
yeah.
That's
So
great.
so Ed uses us
So
for
wow,
that.
you guys
and,
are busy.
Yeah, so we're a busy place and just really
That's
enjoy
great.
being part of the community and trying to just help uplift voice actors. We do kind of talent rate stuff for so they can get access to
Mhm.
kind of our studio
Mhm.
when if the things are too hard for home studio things. So
Yeah, I was going to say. Now it's wonderful that you've been in business for so long, and,
Yeah.
and you know, with the obviously the advent of technology and a home
Mhm.
studio.
Yeah.
So it's certainly quite a successful feat to still be offering such wonderful things and be as busy as you are. That's great.
it's really great, and just with the support of sort of the studio part of
Sure.
our commercial work,
Yeah.
we can sort of offer these other things
Exactly.
to actors and as a service to the community of
So-
actors. And
so-
I really enjoy that part of it. So it's
not just
yeah.
the studio. And you guys are located where?
We're in Studio City in Los
Mhm.
Angeles, so yeah, just kind of among the other studios.
Voice
and-
Tracks
and-
West.
Yeah, Voice Tracks
Yeah,
West. So,
great
so if you're
stuff.
if you're come to Los Angeles and look us up for classes, if you have auditions to do, we have great
Do
services
you
for that.
you have a booth here, or
We
you,
don't, actually,
okay.
yeah. It's just I'm sort of a guest here
So, yes,
for that.
so-
So, but I'll be around all weekend. So
Great.
come find me if anyone wants to chat.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for bringing me up.
Yeah, it was so nice to finally meet you face to face,
know,
and I know Voice Tracks West
Yeah,
for so
now we
long,
have
and
that trust,
now we know, and now we know. So great,
Cool.
thanks so
Thank you
much.
so much. All right.
Huh? Oh, there he is. Where were you? I've got Rodney Salisbury. Yeah. All right. I think we're just about, we saved the best for last. Awesome. So good to see you, Rodney. And I bumped into Rodney early this morning, so
That's right.
It was
That's
yeah, so much fun.
We were working out, which is really important for everybody.
That's
Work out.
right. That's right.
Have to have good stamina to
That's
do
right.
voiceovers.
And good breathing control.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So,
yes. Very important, very important.
Awesome. So you're doing some fun stuff here in
Yeah,
Atlanta.
I'm excited. I've got two presentations. I'm doing a thing called a commercial primer tomorrow morning at about 10:45.
Mhm.
And I'm going to let you know how to get into commercials and how to be successful in that particular genre. Show you how I was able to get things like the Zatarain's Man and instant tax services and Twix and all the different things that I've been fortunate enough to do.
Yeah, good stuff. So you also have an X session?
I do. I
as
have
well?
an X session on promos and trailers.
Mhm.
All right. Promos is one of the most popular genres in the business today. And there's so many opportunities to do it now, you know, with all the different networks like Oprah's new network and things on the internet.
Yep.
And so you don't go to the theater now and see and hear a lot of trailer voices, but you still see a lot of and hear a lot of trailer voices on television. All right, doing trailers and so forth. And so I think that we all have an opportunity to be successful in those genres. So I decided to base my X section on that. Yeah.
Great, great. You did a wonderful one for VoiceOver Virtual, if I remember. I still watch that video where you're ecstasy and you were exercising on the treadmill doing your tongue twisters, which
Exactly.
I loved.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm so excited. Well,
Yeah, you know, people know me for my tongue twisters.
Yeah.
People don't say hello anymore. In fact, that happened today. They just
They
walk
just
up
do
to
a
me and
tongue
they say,
twister?
why in the world would a well want water when a well wants water? Will a well run dry? Why in the world would a wet well want
but wait,
water when a wet...
come to the workout.
Yeah, that's how
come
they do
to the
it.
workout room and let's do that too.
It's never hello anymore. They just start doing tongue twisters. So I get a kick out of it.
Well, hey, you know.
Yeah.
That's
I
not a
just
bad
want to
thing
say
to be
that
known
I
for.
think this is a wonderful, wonderful event. I thank Gerald for putting it
Yeah.
on. I wish I could have attended last year, but I had to miss it. But it's a great event, a great event. And
It
it's
sure
so
is.
nice for all these people to come together.
Yeah.
Right? When I see Mary Lynn, I think about back in the day, having to audition for her all the time, you know? The business has certainly changed now, and we do so much from at home.
At
and
home,
we
yeah.
send in MP3s and so forth. But it was nice to see her and all of the talent just come together to share our knowledge with the rest of the voiceover community. And my friend Joe Lesh is still there. I'm
Where's
looking
Joe?
forward to see Joe back there. Hey, Joe.
Yay, Joe.
Yeah, yeah. And
First time I'm meeting Joe face to face too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Joe's a good man. Got to meet him. And just so good to see Stephanie. Yeah, so it's a great time.
From all over. Yeah.
From all over.
Yep.
And I'm looking forward to your thing
Yes,
too. Doing
yes.
the
So
VO Peeps.
Rodney's
Yeah.
going to be doing a VO Peeps coming
Yeah.
up this year, a little bit later on. So stay tuned to find out when.
Right, right.
Yeah, I'm
And
very excited.
I know many of you out there have my books, and some people are bringing them tomorrow to have me sign them.
Mhm.
I look forward to that. And I just want to leave you with.
Oh, please.
I just really think it's important to believe, right? Believe in yourself. Believe that you have the ability to be successful. And if you believe it, you can convince others to believe it. But it really starts with confidence. It starts with that.
Yeah.
And I think talent is very important, but I got to tell you, confidence and drive trumps it. It really does. And if you really work hard, I never met a hard worker in my life who wasn't successful. So I just urge everybody to work hard. I think you're doing it. The fact that you're here lets me know that you are a hard worker. All right? And starting tomorrow, bright and early, just get ready to just keep on working hard and you know, fighting your way to
Meet Rodney in the
success.
workout room tomorrow
All
at
right.
6 a.m. No, that's it.
All
He's
right.
starting early. Thank you so much.
Thank
oh my God,
you,
isn't he
Ann.
amazing? Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Rodney.
All right. All right. Good night.
Awesome. Was there anybody else? Joe Lesh. Joe, come on. Yay, Joe Lesh. Joe, who traveled quite a ways to come here, am I not mistaken? You came from...
I drove all the way down from Nashville.
There you go. What kind of a drive is that?
Well, about a 3.5 hour
Oh, it's
drive.
not bad. I was thinking it was longer.
No, it was pleasant, very nice.
At least you didn't have any snow.
No snow, not this week anyway.
Yeah, I know. Maybe last week, right?
Yeah. I was on my way down and I heard something on the radio and I knew that Rodney was on the interstate and I said, Rodney, be careful out on the interstate. I just heard that there's a car going the wrong way on the interstate. And he said, Joe, a car? Man, there's hundreds of them.
Boom. Yeah.
And I'm the voice of Zataran's Frozen Foods. That's Zataran!
There you go.
Oh, wait a minute, that's Rodney. I just try to live my life through Rodney.
Don't we all? Don't we all?
I'm on a panel tomorrow with Andy Arndt and also Jason Ojalvo from ACX.
Oh, nice.
So we'll be talking about audiobooks, narration, and I've produced over 100 audiobooks. I've lost count somewhere along the line. But I still narrate audiobooks. I'm a spoken word producer, so I produce other people. I like to work with music and sound effects with the old school radio type process. And so I've produced a lot of those types of things. I did all the special effects for Garth Brooks on the Thunder Rolls.
Nice.
I worked with Emmylou Harris on A Cowgirl's Prayer and then on Garth's live CD album.
Wow.
So I like to work
Fun.
with music and sound effects. I've
Yeah.
got about 30,000 sound effects to play with, so.
Only?
Yeah. I'm looking for more.
Well, that sounds like a whole lot of fun. Well, great. Well, gosh, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, sure. Yeah, thank you for asking me to come
Here-
up and
oh my
chat
God,
with
yes,
you.
please.
Oh, I didn't get
love
my
it.
hug.
You get a hug. And you're going to come to California soon, right? Yeah, Joe's going to be a guest. Everybody that sat here will be a guest on VO Peeps. So, anybody else? No? My God, I'm just so ecstatic that look at all these people I just spoke to. Oh my God, amazing. So thank you so much, everybody. From the bottom of my heart, you guys give yourself a round of applause because what wonderful dedication. Thank you so much for joining me in this live national meetup of the VO Peeps. And I will just remind you that VO Peeps membership is free. It's a resource that I'm very proud and it comes from my heart. So please join VO Peeps. Join us for our monthly meetups. And you can find out all the information you need at vopeeps.com. And my internet audience, I love you. Mwah. Oh my gosh, I love you. Anybody staying up this late, God bless. Thank you so much, everybody, and I'm so excited. I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, good night. Mwah. Thank you, George Whittam. We love you.